Mind Games is a luxury fragrance house with fragrances created by master perfumers and inspired by the game of chess. Each fragrance is housed in a beautiful statuesque bottle. Today I have 3 of the best ones in front of me. Stay tuned as we dive into the intricately derived obsession of Mind Games. Mind Games is a luxury fragrance house that has its earliest releases in 2022. Currently, there are 10 fragrances in the Artisan collection and 10 fragrances in the Soulmate collection. Mind Games has a partnership with the German fragrance company Symrise. This enables this fragrance house to procure some of the finest materials available. This partnership also gives Mind Games access to some of the industry's finest perfumers, such as Anik Manardo, the creator of Boucheron Jaipur, and Bulgari's Black. 2 stellar fragrances. And another one, Emily Kapperman, who created Lalix Eckes, beautiful fragrance right here, and 2 Lagerfeld fragrances. We have Bois d'Amber, relatively new, and Lagerfeld Bois de Yuzu. And the final perfumer that I'll mention here is going to be Christelle Laprade. She's the creator of our first Mind Game fragrance, which is Blockade. Blockade is dressed in a beautiful white box, absolutely gorgeous, nice and solid, with the fragrance sitting safely on a pedestal on the inside. The flacon is a contemporary piece of artwork, with the collar being made of solid wood, as if to remind us of the original wood chess pieces from another time. The cap is a modern vision of the knight of the game of chess. Also, the bottle is quite heavy, coming in at around 440 grams. I weighed this for a full bottle. If we compare this to, say, another niche fragrance house like Parfums de Marly, they come in at 462, or Xerjoff at 454. Here we can tell that Mind Games is right up to par with some of the best and heaviest the niche realm has to offer. Now, I don't want to geek out too much for you, but this kind of gives you an idea of how heavy these beautiful flacons, crafted these bottles actually are. All in all considered, I find these bottles, these flacons, worthy of the game of chess. But let's go ahead and give Blockade a spray. The sprayer is under pressure and has a fine distribution. Now, right at the top, when you first smell this one, there is going to be the note of mango, which is absolutely noticeable. There's also a little bit of brightness, and that's going to come from the bergamot. So you have mango and bergamot right at the top. Now, this is less sweet than you would expect a ripened mango to smell. Some of the other notes listed are going to be tomato leaf, lavender, although I find them to be more of a support role than a main player, at least off the top. The mango and a bit of spice are at the forefront of this fragrance, and the spiciness you get is going to be from some pink pepper, which is actually quite nice. The base carries a note of patchouli, amber, and some soft suede. There's also some agar wood, ever so slightly though. These base notes will play a bigger role as the fragrance dries down, but it never really shifts towards them completely. The mango note stays noticeable for about 2 to 3 hours. And as far as the longevity is concerned, I get a full workday out of this one. And it lasts into the evening with sort of moderate projection for as long as the mango stays around. After that, this fragrance will sit in a little bit closer on the skin. Blockade leans slightly masculine, but just slightly. I think a woman can absolutely wear this tropical, fruity summer fragrance. Blockade will remind you of some other fragrances. It will. Especially if you've been around a little while. So there's an elephant in the room. What does it smell like? Since you are twisting my arm, it lacks the ambergris of your first thought, and it is lighter than your second thought, which makes Blockade a beautiful compromise that won't stay on your clothes for days. The second fragrance from the house we'll look at is also going to be from the light side of the chessboard. This next one is created by Annick Menardo. The presentation is going to be very much the same. It also comes in a white box. Same thing. Although the only thing on this one is going to be the cap. It is modeled after the bishop's piece of chess. The caps on here snap into place with a just satisfying sort of feeling. Very nice. You can hold them from there at the beginning, although I wouldn't glue it a long time. I have a feeling that they may wear out after a while. But let's give Auli a spray as well. Once again, we start with a citrus at the top. This time, however, it is going to be the note of mandarin combined with fig leaf. There also will be the fresh sparkle of bergamot. But this one is not nearly going to be as bold as Blockade was. Instead, this one feels smoother and almost like it has rounded edges on it. I really want to use the word soft, but then I don't want to give you the impression that there is any weakness in here. It has an intelligent, gentle sense about it, unique and familiar at the same breath, probably because of the two notes in the middle. What you'll have in the middle is a note called broom flower. This flower has been around for millions of years, and it kind of gives a pollen-like sweet aroma. Many people find broom flower to be quite powdery. The other middle note is going to be ylang ylang, also a sweet floral note with a touch of earthiness. Auli Diamond is beautifully crafted with just the right amount of tonka. I say just the right amount because it never really gets too sweet. It drifts into the heavier sort of bass notes of resinous myrrh, another ancient note. Also there is some opoponax for a little bit of spice. And finally you're going to have some amberwood, all of it sort of surrounded by a touch of smoke. This is an exceptional sort of unusual fragrance that will last you all day and is absolutely wearable by anyone. One thing I am absolutely sure of, no matter if this fragrance was created for the goddess of baths or the tribe of Sully, either of them would be proud to have this fragrance named after them. For the next fragrance, we'll have to go to the dark side of the chessboard and back to Christelle Laprade. With Scholar's Mate, we have another bishop in a darkened gunmetal accompanied with a black flacon and a dark decal. This time it's going to be black, like this, beautifully done. Also sitting on a same kind of pedestal. And here is going to be the flacon. Also the wood collar on the base of this neck here is going to be solid wood and black. But let's give this one a spray. It's called Scholar's Mate. Same pressurized cap. Same snap when you snap it in. Now the darker colors of this one allude towards the possibilities of a more intense and darker fragrance. And yes, it is a darker woody fragrance with the notes of cardamom and cinnamon leaf. Also the note of grapefruit and bergamot are kind of in there to lift it sort of off of the paper. There's a bit of smoky spice from the pimento and an earthy feel from the orris root. Scholar does feel familiar and contemporary, and that is going to be because of the note of elemi. You will also get a deep woody feel from the sandalwood and vetiver. The main notes listed on the bottle's decal are cedar and vetiver. That is exactly what you get most of, softened by sort of a sweet fig nectar. Don't go thinking that this is going to be a sweet fragrance, with the sweet fig nectar in it. It isn't. It is more of a woody, spicy citrus with the subtle notes of smoke and then some comfortable earthiness. I really like this one. Every time I wear Scholar's Mate, I really enjoy it all day. The protection is good and the longevity is going to be all day into the evening with plenty of whiffs throughout the day with my usual 4 to 5 sprays. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but all the 3 that we just went through are going to be extrait de parfum concentration. Also, while I was doing research on these fragrances, I read Christelle Laprade's quote that Scholar's Mate, this one right here, pairs really well with Auli Diamond, the one we just went over, right? Now, I was unsure what she meant by this, since we aren't speaking of, a wine and entree. So I took it upon myself to layer these two, and guess what? It smelled fantastic. I'm still not sure if this is what she had in mind. It doesn't really matter, since we are talking about mind games in the first place. I am, however, sure of one more thing. I enjoyed these three, and I will be exploring more from the line. If you are interested in mind games and you will check them out, you can use my code CENTRAIL10 on the website for a 10% discount. This will at least cover, your taxes and then a little bit more. As for now, I sincerely hope you have enjoyed yourself. If you did, don't forget to give this video a like and perhaps even subscribe for more content from Centrail. Remember, our fragrance journey begins with but one single scent. Until next time, do take good care of yourself, always smell nice, and I will talk to you soon.